All right, Jeremy Hazel here from 7 Seasons Studios, and if you like what you see and you want more, this comes from our class, The Ultimate Guide to Mockups in Affinity Photo and Photoshop, which is available in the subscription plan at the link below. So if you like what you see and you want more, click on the link below to check out how you can get all of our content for one low monthly price. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, gang, welcome to this lesson. Now, this is one of my favorite lessons. This lesson we're going to go through, and I'm going to show you how to do this really cool record mockup. And it's got some really incredible light. And while it is a mockup, I'm going to go through in the last couple lessons, and I'm going to bang out a composite. So we're going to put some sparks to it, some lightning. This thing is going to be really cool. So if you're in it for the mockup, you can stop after the third lesson. If you want to go all the way to the composite, we're going to continue on for a few more. So this one I'm excited about, as you can tell. Let's go ahead and get started. We go to File, New. I'm going to make a 1500 wide by 1000 pixel tall workspace. Okay. Now the first thing that we're going to do here, we're going to composite the record. You're going to go to File, Place, and the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to bring in this isolated record. Okay, now I chose this record for the gold. So I'm going to swoop it over to the side, bring it about 90 degrees. And the thing that I want to do is I want to highlight some of the grooves right here, right? So the first thing I want to do now, I want to place, and I've got this record highlight thing that's isolated. Okay, now this is Composition 101, right? Let's grab this record highlight. Let's go ahead and make it kind of match how the record grooves would go. Bring it out until it looks kind of cool. And now we're just going to go ahead and change the blend mode up. There we go. Just like that. Change it to lighten, and now you get those nice light tones in there. Now to help the record along its way, we're going to come over to the dodge brush, and we're going to lighten just a little bit. I've got my flow at about 25%. And I'm going to increase the highlight on the already existing swirls. So we're going to do these on both. That's kind of cool. All right. That's looking good. If you don't like it and it's not looking good, you can always bring those down a little bit to your liking. All right. Let's go ahead and combine these. I'm going to right click, or I should say left click on the record highlight. Right click, and now let's group it and rasterize it. Boom, just like that. We got a record. All right, now let's make a record jacket. We're going to grab a rectangle. We're going to then create a rectangle. We're going to hold shift so that it's roughly the size of the record. And the reason we hold shift is because then it has a perfect square. And if you wonder about the size of the record, come down and turn down the opacity. That's pretty darn close. I'm happy with that. All right, now let's go ahead and move it over a little. All right, just about right there looks pretty good. I'm actually going to move it a little further. I don't want the hole showing, but I do want that gold. That gold is going to play a role later. All right, this is a rectangle. It's a shape. We need to convert it to a curve. So we come over to Layer. We then come over and we're going to convert it to a curve. Now it's a curve. Now, inside the curve, here's what I want you to do. We're going to put in a pixel layer. We're going to nest it inside the curve, and we're going to turn it a god-awful red, right? So let's grab our flood fill, come over to the color, make it red. Boom, red jacket. Now, that's ugly, right? What we're going to do now, we're going to make it modifiable. Click on it, and now let's do an HSL adjustment. And what I want you to do is I want you to tie it to the pixel layer. Now you can change that thing to any color of the rainbow, any level of saturation, any level of brightness or darkness, right? So this is what makes it modifiable. In reality, we're setting the base color for the pixel. Now we need some jacket art. So what we're going to do, we're going to come over. I'm going to click on the little curve here. We're going to go to the transform panel, and I see that it's about 451 pixels. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to create one that's probably, let's go 500 by 500. Just a little bigger than the 450, but not so large that you get pixelation. And this is going to be an embedded layer. So let's drag out a rectangle. Let's make it an awful color of blue. And because it's roadway records, let's go ahead and go File, Place. And I've included the logo in here. All right. So I'm going to put the roadway records logo in. We're going to bring it over just like that. And now here's what's going to happen. We're going to go File, Save As, call it the Embedded Record Jacket. Yes, we want to replace that. I had one in there from earlier. You can tell this is not the first time I've done this. And now we want to go to File, Place, and we want to put the Roadway Records embedded layer on top of this. And then I want to go inside. Okay, but I want to go above the pixel layer. Now let's turn this off for a second. I'm coming back to this. You see this image is pretty flat. What I want to do is I want to create another pixel layer. I want to put it just above the base color. I want you to come over with the gradient tool, and I want you to flip it. So now you got the darker part. Come over to the gray, click in the gray, and darken it up just a little bit. Just like that. All right, now let's change the blend mode. Multiply. There we go. All right, now that's going to look better. Let's come back now to our embedded layer. Bring it up, and you see this blue? You're not being able to see the jacket beneath and the pixel layer that you did. Check this out. Double click, turn off the rectangle, and let's see what we now get. Now you have a jacket that has a little bit of a shadow. It has a little bit of that roadway records feel to it. However, it's not a great color for this. So let's go ahead and see if we can't make this color a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and darken this down a little bit. I really like the gold against that color. So I think that this is a good start. Now, if you wanted to move this around, you certainly could. And if you wanted to put something else in there, you certainly could. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this here. We have a curve. We have our embedded layer. We have a pixel layer of shadow. And we've got a modifiable base for this purple. In reality, I think we're pretty good. Let's go ahead and save this. I would highly recommend you save this as step 1. And then in the next one, we'll take the next step. All right, see you in the next one.